And let me officially welcome you to Master Your Speaking Fees once and for all. As I mentioned a moment ago, I'm David Newman. The awesome and amazing Rick Krug is here, and you are here, and that's the most important part. And let's talk about why you're here. So you are in the right place. If you are currently launching or relaunching your speaking-driven business, and we'll talk about what that is in a moment, and you want to make it happen fast. Or as a speaker, a consultant, a coach, you're committed to building a more substantial, more secure, and way more profitable speaker expert platform. We're going to have some cool stuff to share with you. You're also in the right place if you have great content and you get great results for your clients, but you're just lost around pricing and fees and the money discussion and what to say and how to charge and get the premium fees that you know you deserve. You just can't figure out how to make the math work, how to do that price times quantity equals total to get you the income and the revenue that you know is within reach, but you just haven't been able to crunch the numbers. You haven't been able to deliver the numbers, and Rick and I will help you with that. So it doesn't matter where you are in your paid speaking or speaker marketing journey. We will definitely have something here to help you, whether you're on the journey from average to awesome, whether you're on the journey from zero to hero, any other cliche that you would like to use. We are going to have something for you at every level of the spectrum. So here's our game plan. We are going to get real. This entire program is completely about fees and money and charging what you're worth and creating the income and the revenue from your speaking-driven business that you know you need to get. So we're going to talk about the economic reality of speaking fees, the myths and the truths, dangers of charging too little, and why you might be getting underbooked and underpaid at whatever level that you're at right now, how to put your fee into perspective, and this is the buyer's perspective, the most important perspective, avoid pricing landmines that will blow you up and cost you money, this is my favorite part, exact word-for-word scripting on how to have the money conversation. Let me say that again. Exact word-for-word scripting on how to have the money conversation. Wouldn't that be nice? That'd be awesome. We're going to do that for you today. And then next steps to help you make it happen. So, as always, we have some ethical bribes that are waiting for you and ready for you here at the end, all specifically to do with charging and getting premium fees and how to have the money discussion and what to do when people ask you, hey, how much is it? Way before it's time to ask how much is it. So do stick to the end for some super useful gifts. And of course, Rick and I will be here at the very end, at the bitter end, to answer every single speaking fee and speaking driven fee question that you have. So mega Q&A. We've cleared our afternoon. We got nothing else going on here except to make sure that you leave this masterclass with the answers that you need and with the resources to help you. So let's do a quick poll. Let's take this right to the question box. Have you already been paid to speak on any level, any fee, any time? Let's just kind of take a temperature of the folks that are here in the room, Rick. Just type a real simple Y for the word yes. Type an N for the word no.
Wow, we got a bunch of yeses coming up.
Y and N. Yeah. So we have mostly yes
26
people.
Years. Yeah. A lot of yes people. A couple no's in there.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. A lot of yeses, a couple no's coming in. Yeah, lots of people are responding. Great response here.
So let's do this. We're going to talk to both groups. If you're in that yes category, if you just typed in Y, or you're about to type in Y in the question box. And again, this is a diagnostic question. We're not here to make you wrong. We're not here to make you feel bad. We're here to take you from where you are to where you want to be. So if you look at it honestly, are you happy with the financial results that you've generated in terms of the quality and quantity of sales that you're making? Are you happy with the quality and quantity of income and the profits that you're generating in all aspects of your speaking-driven business? Are you 100% happy with your financial results? And this, again, just for the yes people. Obviously, the no people have a different set of questions coming up. But let's see what the yes people say. Are you 100% happy? How many fat and happy speakers, Rick?
So we're getting a lot of not only no, but heck no. And nope, and not a chance, not even 100%. Nope, 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 nope. I haven't gotten one yet. Wow, there's not one single yes on this.
Okay, well then that makes sense. And again, we're not here to, make you wrong or make you feel bad about what's come before. We're here to help you change what's to come ahead. We're here to, and obviously, if you didn't have a speaking fee problem, you probably wouldn't be on the speaking fee masterclass, right? People that have this all dialed in and figured out, whoever they are, those mythical unicorns, they're not going to come onto a program like this because they might not need the help. You guys are here for the help. You're brave in answering this question honestly. We appreciate that. Let's talk about the folks who have not yet been paid to speak. So if you answered no a second ago, what do you think, just in a couple of short phrases, keywords, what's the number one thing that's keeping you from high fee financial success as a speaking driven professional? What's the number one thing? What's missing for you in particular? So we're going to ask this question. Rick is going to collect some of these answers, and then we're going to tailor and shape the rest of our program to hopefully knock out this number one thing for you personally, because there's often not a lot of different things. It's usually the same set of 5 or 6 usual suspects that are causing problems. So honestly, if you have never cracked that paid speaking nut, what's the number one thing keeping you from high fee financial success as a speaking driven professional? And again, don't write a novel. Just a couple short phrases, couple keywords is enough to give us the flavor of it. What are people saying here, Rick?
Yeah, these are great. Charles says low visibility, and Mary says some lack of confidence is happening here. Joe says fear of that first gig. Boy, that is a big one. John says courage to ask, just the courage to ask.
Oh, love that one.
Yeah. Elaine says no authority. That's interesting. Wow. Dave says disorganized, needs a specific program. Marcia is struggling with identifying the ideal client.
Wow. All right. Oh, man. So much good stuff for you guys coming up here today, then. This is awesome because you're exactly on the right track, and we're going to fix this. Let me tell you a quick story. This was years and years ago. One of the clients that I worked with said to me, David, this whole fee thing, I'm totally mystified. I'm totally befuddled. I'm totally stuck. She's a 15-year veteran speaker. Awesome platform skills, good business, good website, professional materials. She's changed markets a couple of times. She's pivoted her topic a couple of times. She says to me point blank, and think about the sadness of this following statement. David, I've charged $1,500. I've charged $15,000. I don't know where I am on the map. You tell me. Should I be 1,500? Should I be 15,000? Totally lost her bearings in the speaking-driven marketplace. Her own self-worth, her own self-esteem financially. She literally says, listen, if you tell me it's 1,500, I'll go back to square one. I'll start at 1,500. And by the way, I never tell someone 1,500. If you tell me, let's go to the top, let's go to 15,000 right here, right now, I'm going to take your advice. I have no idea anymore. I've lost my compass. I've lost my way. I just don't know. Now, that's a serious, serious problem. That's like a serious, serious problem. So let's talk about the 3 scary fee mistakes that my client here from all those years ago is illustrating one of, and maybe you guys have some of the other two. And again, thank you in advance for your honesty and your frankness, because again, if we can't diagnose the problem, we're not going to be able to give you the prescription and the treatment. So 3 scary fee mistakes. Number 1, like my client, I don't know what to charge. I'm lost. I have no idea. Don't know what to charge at all. Problem number 2, I know what to charge, and I know I charge too little. I know that I'm lowballing it. I know that I'm stuck in small potatoes land. Number 3, I charge what I charge, but you know what? I never get it. I always cave on price. I say 5,000, I accept 1,500. I say 10,000, I'll take 3. The joke is that speakers have 3 prices. They have the price that they say they charge, they have the price that they charge, and they have the price that they'll take. So think about this. Which one of these is yours? Which one of these is yours? Just type in the question box, and I'll give you the 3 phrases here that Rick is going to be watching for. Number 1, don't know. Just type in don't know if you really have no idea what to charge and where you fit in that speaker ecosystem. Or you know what you need to charge, but you're always lowballing it, so too low. Third one, cave on price. I charge a good fee, I never get a good fee. Always cave on price. By the way, cave on price includes cave down to zero. It includes cave down to zero. That's really sad. So which one of these is your close friends? I'll tell you, when I started my speaking business, all three of these were my close friends. I had no idea, and I'll share some pricing insights and some pricing history in my own business so you can see that firsthand. I'll share invoices. We're going to share all kinds of things here today. But I really didn't know. I knew some stuff I was going after was too low. And when I had a good fee on the surface, I would always cave on the price. So Rick, am I alone? Am I the only goofball on this webinar?
No, not at all, Dave. In fact, seeing lots of don't knows. There's a there's a ton of spelunkers here today. They're caving in, as you can see. Yeah. And Forrest says, I've done all of these. Great. That's a great honest answer right there.
Yeah.
A couple are saying, don't know. Usually it's this, usually it's that. And so they're struggling with where it's at. Ton of don't knows, two lows. Lauren says, really low. It's really low. It's happening.
Yeah.
Mindy said three sometimes. All three sometimes. Yeah.
Yep.
So
me too, my friend. Absolutely. You got it. Well, so let's talk about what happens when you escape this trap, right? Glenn Carver came through our program. He says, how are you? Hope you had a great Labor Day, etc. The interesting part of this is in that last paragraph, I delivered 2 free talks to 2 CEO groups last month, as you suggested. That generated a $2,500 gig and a $5,000 gig. The $2,500 gig should turn into my first long-term client. Keep you posted. Also, I quoted my keynote fee at $7,500 for the first time. So right here in this one email, I'm showing you the rapid elevation that literally within a matter of weeks, going from and getting a $2,500 program, going out and getting a $5,000 program. This is after he finished our whole mentoring program. And now moving up within weeks, did not take months, did not take years, but now moving from that $5,000 level, having the confidence and the clarity and the market positioning that is supporting a $7,500 fee. That is possible for you, not someday, not months and months or years from now. That's possible for you weeks from now. Maybe in some of your cases, days from now, if we stop using some of these toxic fee setting habits that we've fallen into. So here's a big problem. The myth that speaking fees are somehow random. Speaking fees, some guy decides it's, 17,000, someone else decides it's 8, someone else decides it's $500 or a rubber chicken dinner. Not true. Not true. The truth is, fees reflect reality. Write that down, screenshot this puppy. This is such an important principle. We're going to dig into this here in a couple of minutes. But fees reflect reality. They reflect market value. They reflect the way that you talk about your topic. They reflect your articulation and distinction in your niche, in your vertical market. They sometimes will simply reflect whether you've had a strong, powerful value first sales conversation, which you're getting the template for later on today, or whether you're having a speaker-centric, hire me, I, me, my message, which is very low value. So it's about the reality of your content, the reality of your value, and the reality of your sales skills. Fees reflect that reality. Number one biggest myth that will kill you, my fee is dependent on their budget. Some days I'm a $500 speaker, and again, it's like my client, right? Some days I'm $1,500, the next day I'm $15,000, the next day I'm $3,000, the next day I'm $7,000. No, you're not. Are you kidding me? Your fee is totally not dependent on their budget. In fact, quite the opposite. Let me lay this thought bomb on you right now. If they don't have the budget to bring you in, they are not your prospect. And we'll talk about what makes a good prospect, what makes a good speaker, and we'll talk about the criteria on both sides of that equation, because you need that piece of psychology to make this really work. But if they don't have your budget, they are not your prospect. Please make a bumper sticker, make a sign, make a tattoo, put that on your biceps. If they don't have your budget, they are not your prospect, right? So, trust me, guys, I went through every possible rigmarole around this, from lost to very lost. I spent the first 3.5 years of my business slowly going broke. I started my business in January of 2002. Some of you guys heard the story. I'll tell it very briefly here. Charged my very first speaking fee was $900 for a time management course because I was teaching everything. I was teaching everything and anything to anyone for any fee. First thing that came in, time management. Great. How much? $900. I'll take it. Had many, many $0 months. I got cash infusions from family. I'm not proud of that, but it's the truth. It's the reality. I racked up $40,000 of credit card debt because I just could not figure out the money part of this business. I had a lot of good intent. I had a lot of good content. I had a lot of good speaking gigs. They just weren't for money, or they weren't for enough money. And I was one step away from getting a job job. The turning point came when I invested money that I really didn't have, obviously being in $40,000 in credit card debt, to buy high-end mentoring from experts who are doing exactly what I wanted to do. Following their teachings to the letter, no more shiny object syndrome, no more small potatoes thinking, no more getting distracted and pulled off course. I got super focused, I got going, and I got huge results. So believe me, guys, I get it. I started at zero. I made every mistake in the book. I made the good ones twice. None of what we're sharing today about fees and money and revenue is about theory or maybes or guessing or gosh, I hope this works or, I read this in a book somewhere. This comes from my firsthand experience and my firsthand experience mentoring over 500 other speakers, consultants, and experts. And it's exactly what I've done. The principles and practices and scripts I'm sharing with you today. It's what I've done to reach multiple six figures every single year since 2009 and earn my certified speaking professional designation from the National Speakers Association, which only the top 10% of speakers have worldwide, and only 10% of speakers are in the NSA and the Global Speakers Federation. So I'm just giving you a statistic there. It's the top 10% of the top 10%, which means the top 1%. There's a lot of people teaching and preaching this stuff that have never done it, that have never had their own success, that have never had any client success. I would just caution you and warn you, be very careful who you listen to in this business because it can be full of goofballs. So let's talk about the economic reality about speaking fees. The 5 levels of fees, this comes from Smart Meetings Magazine. Smart Meetings goes to meeting planners, conference producers, association executives, people who hire folks like you, folks like me, folks like Rick. Here's the 5 levels. In their words, an unpaid speaker is mediocre just starting out. If you're charging from $1,000 to $2,500, quote, unquote, you get what you pay for. Ouch. $2,500 to $5,000, they're just transitioning from part-time. Think about that. You're a dabbler. You're an amateur. You're a dilettante. You're just kind of a goofball. You're dipping your toe in the water. You don't know what you're doing yet. $5,000 to $10,000, quote, directly from the article, now you're hiring a true professional. $10,000 and above, New York Times bestseller, some kind of sports celebrity, marquee name. Here's where I want you to be, guys. I want you to be a level 4 speaker that your price immediately positions you as a true professional. Because pricing is perception. Pricing is position. Pricing is positioning, my friends. You can tweet that. Tweet that out there. Go ahead. @DNewman. Please, someone tweet that out there. Pricing is positioning, and it's 100% true. Many people on this webinar are not getting booked, not because your fee's too high, but because your fee's too low. Because your fee is positioning you as mediocre, just starting out. Get what you pay for. Part-time, amateur, dabbler, dilettante, not really serious, transitioning from part-time. Someday you'll grow up and put big boy pants and big girl pants on, but you're not there yet. If you were there yet, you'd be charging a serious fee, like $45, $55, $60, $500. So, let me tell you about my client, Nancy. When Nancy came to me, she said, David, I'm living in low fee to no fee hell. I'm on this low fee gig to gig hamster wheel. All I'm finding is low fee and no fee gigs. She lived in Buffalo, New York, still does. I can't get out of Buffalo. I can't get out of Buffalo. I can't get attention. All I'm getting is the ladies' auxiliary, the local chamber, the library basement, the pizza place. Literally, these are all places she spoke. literally pizza place and literally library basement. Here's what I said to her. I said, Nancy, the problem is not that all you're finding is low fee and no fee gigs. I said, Nancy, the problem is that you're taking them. You're taking them. And you have no context, you have no comparison, you have no firsthand knowledge of what a good client even looks like and what a good client would pay you. Not what a good client is willing to pay. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about what a good client is able to pay. I'm talking about what a good client is expecting to pay. Think about that, guys. What's a good client expecting to pay? It's not $300. It's not $500. It's not $1,200, $1,500. It is $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000. At least in that price range. For some of you guys that are experienced, that have been doing this for a while, it's higher than that. You should probably be at $12,000. You should probably be at $15,000. But you're not. You're still in little small potatoes, $2,500, $3,500, $2,000, $1,500 land. Again, guys, every speaker has three prices. It's the price that you say you charge, it's the price that you charge, and it's the price you're willing to take. Nancy was stuck in this crazy hamster wheel. I said, listen, we got to get you out of this. We got to get you out of this. How was I able to encourage her? Easy. Small local client came to me in 2003. We met at a Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce event. On the break, this VP comes up to me from the audience. Says, we need time management and two more topics. Remember, I already did my time management for $900 for the real estate brokerage firm. So, man, I became the time management guy. Knew nothing about it, but I was the time management guy. Do you do time management? What do you think I said? Rick, what did I say?
Yes, of course you do.
Of course you got it, buddy. Of course I do time management. I'm so glad you asked. So, how much is it? This is 2003, remember. 2003, do the math on this. She said, well, how much is it? I said, it's $3,500 per program. She says, fantastic, great, done. We'll hire you for all three programs. Right there, signed, sealed, delivered, on the break, at the chamber, I make a $10,500 sale. So today, by the way, that $3,500, if you go onto the internet and do some of these interest calculators and inflation calculators, today that's $4,576.21 for good measure. Here's the invoice. You guys can call my friend Gloria. She probably won't remember me after 14 years. But yeah, I sent Gloria an invoice in February of 2003. ECBM is this insurance brokerage firm here in suburban Philadelphia. There's the price. We did this times 3. She said, can you send me 3 invoices? Because I can't write you a check for $10,500, but I can write you a check for, I can write you 3 checks for $3,500 and put them in the same envelope. I said, sure. So I sent invoice 147, 148, and 149 all in the same envelope. I got 3 checks back, $3,500, $3,500, $3,500. Another example. QVC right here in my backyard, the big home shopping network. QVC is based in Westchester, Pennsylvania, about 20 miles from where I'm sitting right now. Sat down with the VP of Learning and Development. I had a self-published book. I thought I was the bomb. I thought I had it going on. I dropped a $6,000 fee on the table. I said, well, how much would it be to bring you in? I said, I have great news. It's only $6,000. Here's what she says to me point blank. VP Learning and Development, Fortune 500 company. 2005, 12 years ago. We're not used to paying any more than $4,500 for a one-day program. Straight from the client's mouth. Straight from the prospect's mouth. We're not used to... Now, watch that phrasing. Used to paying. Used to paying means it's normal. Used to paying means it's expected. Used to paying means any less than that, and we're kind of worried, oh my God, will this person be a train wreck? Was this person a serious expert? Is this person just a nice kind of laid off HR lady or HR guy? What are we getting for $1,000 or $1,200 or $2,000, right? This language right here is what changed my life. We're not used to paying any more than $4,500 for a one-day program. Well, on that day, in 2005, guess what David Newman's speaking fee instantly became? it was $4,500. And I did a lot of gigs at $4,500, moved upstream. We'll talk about how to do that in a little bit later here today. Did a lot of gigs at 55 and 65, did a lot of gigs at 75. Today, the range is 85 to 9,500 in case you're curious or in case there's a conference where I can help you. Hint, hint. But here's the deal. Today, I'm kidding about that last part, of course. Today, that 4,500 in 2005, today it's 5,500. In fact, Internet Inflation Calculator, it's 55.93 and 7 cents. You guys can keep the 7 cents. I don't need that. I'll take the 55.93. So I have a wake-up call. This may sound harsh. I don't mean it to sound harsh. The wake-up call for you. Why aren't you charging at least what low-level, no-name trainers and speakers like me were charging and getting 10, 12, and 14 years ago? I was at this level 14 years ago, guys, 12 years ago. I was doing the 3 times 3,500 in 2003. I was doing the 45. I was a nobody. I didn't have my book. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a platform. I didn't have a list. I didn't have a blog. I had nothing. Like nothing. Literally low level, no name, trainer and speaker. That was me. And I'm still pretty much no name, right? I'm no celebrity. I'm no rock star. We're just mere mortal human beings. But we need to charge premium market rates for the value that we deliver, or our clients will never take us seriously. So the wake-up call is, why aren't you charging what I charged and got 12, 13, 14 years ago? I mean, what is wrong with this picture? What is wrong with this picture? All right, let's talk about nailing this for you guys. So Lisa Hain came through our mentoring program. She really hit the ground running. She said, within my first 2 weeks in the program, I used your material to close a speaking engagement for $5,000. It's not easy for me to express my value. That's one of the reasons I bought your program. I used your exact coaching and tools to sway the client to choose me when their board voted on a keynote speaker today. I knew I needed help with sealing the deal once I had a client on the line. And here's the part I really like. I now know how to do this with every prospect going forward. Imagine if you had the key to that $45, $55, $6,500 sales conversation, that you knew that key fit that lock, you knew how to turn it, and every speaking opportunity, you were out of the low fee, no fee hamster wheel, and you were now charging and getting and very much worth $45, $55, $6,500 every time you took the stage. Would that change your life? Would that change your business? Would that change your bank account? I'm guessing it would. So let's talk about, I know what you're thinking. I can channel. Rick, I'm channeling our folks right now, but I'm new. I just started. I don't have a track record. I'm a nobody. Okay, that's cool. What about new speakers? Well, let me ask you this way. What about a new dentist giving you a root canal? What about a new airline pilot selling you an airline seat to go from Boston to Los Angeles? What about a brand new accountant doing your tax return? You know what the answer is? What does the root canal cost? What does the airline seat cost? What does the tax return cost? The answer is the going rate. I just showed you the minimum going rate. Minimum speaker fee that any serious, credible expert needs to be charging is $4,500. You gotta believe me, guys. I was doing this 14 years ago. I was cashing checks. If you reverse engineer this, right? Think about what was $4,500 today and then go backwards, right? That's the real money that you're leaving on the table, right? Because back then, right, this was probably worth $6,000. So you can forward cast it and it's worth more. You can go backwards and it balances out the other way. My point is, this is not a lot of money. You have to anchor yourself in the fact that this is not a lot of money. We're going to practice this right now. I need you to, and this is not a joke. This is not some mindset psychobabble. This is about very seriously anchoring you in the reality of the speaking marketplace. If you can get your head around $4,500 is not a lot of money, and that you deserve this money, you can get this money's out there waiting for you, I want you to type in the question box, not a lot of money. Not a lot of money. I want you to declare, raise your hand, saying, I'm getting out of small potatoes land. I am no longer going to be afraid of this number. In fact, this number might seem low. By the time this webinar is done, this number will seem low to you. I'm going to work through some reverse mathematics with you and show you that the number is low. Rick, let's do a roll call of people who believe this is no longer a lot of money.
Great. We got Leanne, Jill, Rebecca, Sherry, John, Janet, Mary, JR, Charles, Marianne, Deshawn, Kathy, Carol, Norm, Nellie, Jill, Dave, Roger, Stephen, David, another David, Charlie, Wendy, Norm, Chris, Stephen, Larry, Joe, Christy, Billy, Forrest, Karen, and the list goes on here. Wow.
Excellent. Excellent. So unless if you think, oh my God, I'm asking a fortune, nobody could ever possibly pay someone like me. How successful do you think you'll be in asking for it and getting it? If you say, listen, my fee is $4,500, easy, boom, done. I get paid $4,500. It's just a statement of reality. It's a statement of factual reality. Some of you guys are saying, I get $7,500, and that's the number that it should be for you. Some of you guys say, I get $9,500, I get $12K, I get $15K. I don't care what the number is. I want to make sure that nobody is lowballing themselves out of business. That's what I'm really concerned about. Because this is not about what you need to earn. Will you earn money? Of course you will. Will you earn more money this way? Of course you will. It's not about what you need to earn, guys. It's about what do they need to pay to take you seriously. What do they need to pay to take you seriously? Huge point. So, if you've taken this to heart, and I know many people have, this question box is kind of filling up still as we speak, from wherever you are, understanding that the floor is $4,500, you're welcome to do more. You're welcome to do more. I'll say it a third time, you're welcome to do more. Type in your new fee, type in a number in the question box, and then one word on how that feels. So type in your new fee as a number. People putting in 45, 95, 55, 65, 45, whatever the number is, 4,500, 5K, 6K, 8K, and then one word. What's the word? When you quote that number, when you can live with that number, when you can love that number, how does that feel? How does that feel in your bones? How does that feel in your body? How does that feel in your chest cavity when you quote that number and say, I'm now going to start quoting this. I'm now going to start getting this. And we'll talk about the scripting and how to ask for it and how to negotiate it and how to make it happen. But you first have to believe it, guys. This is absolutely a case, like so many others in life, you have to believe it before you see it. You have to believe it before you see it. Rick, share some numbers and some feelings.
Yeah, there's David. These are great. The biggest one, of course, is great, awesome, amazing. I like what Chuck said. Bam, there's a good one. Let's see. Deshawn said $69.95, fantastic. Forrest said 5,000. Yo, man, I like that too. David said 10K, comfortable. Jill said true. I'm getting there, right? Okay, good, Jill. Dominic said 7,500, justified. I like that.
Nice.
Perfect.
Nice. Well, again, so that's the mindset part, right? Let's get into some tactical, practical stuff. Another fantastic client success story, one of our favorite, most recent clients actually, is Dr. Mike Thompson. Works in the education market. The education market's always a little bit cheap. So he was getting out there for like $1,500, $2,500. The most that an education client, by that I mean a school board, a school district, etc., would pay is probably around $3,500. So he was maxing out at a $3,500 fee in the school market. In his own words, Mike said he was hunting wabbits. He was always on that hamster wheel. Get me the next gig, get me the next gig, get me the next gig. 1,500, 2,500, 1,500, 2,750, 3,000, 3,500. That's the world he was in, right? Gig after gig, hunting his next wabbit. Here's where Mike ended up after our program together. He decided on corporate sponsorship was going to be his fastest, best path to revenue. And we talk about that, and that's included in our mentor program. One sponsor is talking to me about a $50K program, And another one just signed a $75,000 a year sponsorship for 3 years. So that's $225K. I can't say enough about David personally, and his mentoring program made all the difference. I've stopped hunting wabbits, and I'm finally building a real business around my speaking. So again, Mike gets the credit because Mike did the work, but are there ways to escape that low-fee gig-to-gig hamster wheel? There absolutely are. Are there ways to scale and leverage and magnify and multiply your speaking revenues with things like licensing, train the trainer, sponsorship, all of these cool strategies? Yes, there are. Yes, there are. Let me go back to another myth that just makes me crazy, makes me nuts. This idea of you are not paid hourly. You are not paid hourly. This one totally drives me nuts, and you got to stop it. When I started out, I studied fees very closely. And the best place I went to look is the Washington Speakers Bureau, where all the top speakers, all the top gurus go. I browsed around. One thing I noticed, there's no prices on the Washington Speakers Bureau website. Most other speakers bureaus, there are prices and price ranges. There's no prices, just levels. So I found one of my heroes is Tom Peters. He was a level 6. I'm like, oh, level 6. That sounds really cool. I was like, okay, what's level 6? What the heck is a fee level? What does level 6 mean? How much does this guy get paid? So, but by the way, here's Tom Peters in action, in case you guys don't know what Tom looks like. Very hands-on, very energetic. Here's me doing a program. Separated at birth? Maybe. It's just so funny that I literally found this picture of Tom online, and I'm like, I think I have a photo with me making the fist and going out in the audience. And so you can tell why he's my hero. So there you go, my little Tom Peters homage. So here's what I found. Level 6 is $40,000 and up. Did a little bit more digging. Other speaker bureau websites, Tom's website. Here's what I found out. This guy gets $50,000 for a talk. $50,000. I couldn't get I was like, how is that possible? Who would be crazy enough to pay that money? How can he possibly charge that much? And who'd be crazy enough to pay it? Then I did some thinking. I said, all right, who's Tom's client base? Who's in Tom's audiences? Highly placed executives at Fortune 500 companies. How many people does Tom usually speak to at these events? Maybe 800, 1,000 people in the audience. I did the math. So if I'm paying this guy $50,000, there's 1,000 of my top executives in the audience. I'm really paying for $50 of value per person. That's really all I'm paying. It's a bargain. It's like $50 of value, $50 of new ideas, $50 of innovation. Think about this. Is Tom Peters to every single person in that audience delivering $50 of more innovation, better leadership, more collaboration, $50 of them going back and creating smarter, better products at their company, more innovative services and programs and internal initiatives? Is it $50 of ideas they'll take back to help them build a stronger culture and better employee engagement? Here's what I realized. Here was the mind shift. I was like, $50? Are you kidding? He's too cheap. Tom Peters should be charging $100,000. He's at least delivering $100 of ideas to these people. I said, this guy is underpriced. This guy's a bargain now. Do you see the mind shift around that? And I'll tell you, this is literally, I had a shift in my body. I had a shift. There was like, you could feel the movement in your chest. Like when you have this aha moment and like the world view changes, you're like, wow, I got to call Tom Peters. I go, Tom, you're undercharging, buddy. You need to be charging $75K or $100K. Are you crazy? $50K is way too little for what you do. It literally was another one of these touch points that I said, wow, I've been thinking about this completely wrong, completely upside down, completely backwards. So let's talk about you. Let's talk about you walking onto a stage at a local chapter meeting of a local professional trade and association that you want to work with. 70 people in the audience, 100 people in the audience, and let's just say that you're underpriced like Tom Peters. I'd like to use $100, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with the $50 because I kind of like that. That's super cheap. Are your ideas, if you talk for an hour and I listen to you, will I be $50 better off? Gosh, I hope so. Man, I better be. If I'm not, you got to work on your content. But here's the deal. 70 people is $3,500. 100 people is $5K. Now, again, don't get me wrong. We're not charging per person pricing. I'm talking about the value delivered. At a state association, 100 to 300 people in the audience. What's my value delivered? 5K to 15K. Right in there. Just do the math. It's the number of people times $50 of brain power. National meeting, 200 people to 2,500 people, even bigger than that sometimes. Easily $10,000 to $125,000. Small conference, 150, 200 people at a state association conference, local a business conference, leadership conference, companies in-house leadership conference, 7,500 to 10K, easy. Medium-sized conference, 250 to 2,500, do the math, 12.5 to 125K. This is, again, another way to look at the economic reality. So if you think there are rules, if you think, well, I'm just starting out, it has to be $500. No, it doesn't. There are no rules, my friends. There are no rules. The best way to say that is you set the rules. You set the rules. You want to be broke? Charge broke fees. You want to do well? Charge fees of people that do well. Start charging $4,500, $5,500, $6,500 and know that you're a bargain. Know that you're a bargain. Know that your value delivered far exceeds their fee invested. You have to know that in your heart. So, client success, once we get this squared away in our heads, the rest becomes mechanics. The rest becomes easy. John Garrett came through our mentoring program. He says David's program is easily the best return on investment a recovering CPA could dream of. I was able to sell more speaking engagements to better clients at consistently higher fees to the point of an 85% increase in income from last year. I booked a $5,500 gig within 5 weeks of starting. Let me unpack that 85% increase. John's website is John G Comedy. John actually used to put himself out there as a corporate comedian. I said, okay, you're not a corporate comedian. We're going to repackage that. We're going to re-articulate that. You are now an employee engagement expert who uses comedy as the front door to get in there. So he was taking comedy gigs for $700, $1,000, $1,200. I said, let's not do that. Let's not sell comedy gigs anymore to these corporate meeting planners. Let's sell keynotes. Let's sell seminars. Let's sell programs. And let's charge $5,500 instead of $1,500, $1,200, whatever. When he says 85% increase in income, he was thinking about this all wrong. His fees were way too low. So 85% increase in income, yes, great, awesome. Reposition, repackage, remarket, and reprice, that's where the magic came in. And he was able to do that within 5 weeks. That didn't take months and months and years and years. That took 5 weeks in John's case. So, all you really need to be successful in commanding this kind of fee is a strong, well-packaged topic, clear market need and demand, a firm belief in your fee, and then a questioning plan to uncover the context of value and the contrast of scale. So let's talk about all of these. Here's a big sales aha moment for you. Don't let your fee be the first number that comes up in conversation. Our job is that we always need to set the context of value and the contrast of scale. Ask questions like, what's the average salary of an employee that's going to be in this program? And how many of them are there? Average deal size. When your sales folks go out, what's the average deal size? Oh, you have customer service reps that are coming to the program. What's the customer lifetime value? And then you're collecting this math. This is their math that they're sharing their numbers with you. And you're asking them, or you're doing the math on your phone or on a calculator, what would a 1% or a 2% or a 5% or a 10% or a 20% increase look like in those key metrics? So if you had more employee engagement, how much more? 20%. Well, how much is employee engagement? Well, we got these people. They're our mid-level managers. They're making $100,000. Each time one of them leaves, it costs me $200,000 to replace them. Right, because the replacement cost, according to industry studies, is about two times what their salary is, with lost overhead, training time, etc., etc. Plus, you have to know this math, how the math works in your particular business. Customer lifetime value. Well, how many widgets do they buy? Well, they usually buy about 20 widgets. And how much are these widgets? Well, these widgets are about $1,000. So an average order is about $20,000. Yeah. And how many of your guys make quota? Well, about half the. Well, and how many is about 10? Wow. So you have a $200,000 a month problem. So I can ask this question for any topic: leadership, sales, communication skills, customer service, career management, parenting, financial, personal finance. I can monetize and dollarize with the right kind of questions any kind of topic. If you don't know, when they present a problem, you say, can you put a number on it? 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 That is a relentless onion peeling question. And if they can't put a number on it, you need to be connecting to someone who does. Because the person that owns the problem is the one who's going to own the solution. And believe me, the person who owns this problem, they can totally put a number on it. So when you hear this phrase, your fee is too high, I guarantee you it's 3 problems that you do not have. Problem number 1, it's not about your fee. Please realize this. It's not about your fee. It's not about your program, and it's not even about their budget. So people are scratching their heads now going, well, hang on, Newman. It's not about my fee. It's not about my program. It's not about the... So what is it? What is it really about? You forgot to connect what you do with what they want. And you forgot to put a number on it. So if you ask about money, you ask about return on investment, you ask about time, hours, dollars, percentages, all of these metrics, and you ask where they are and where they want to go. Now, in the latter half of the sales conversation, you're going to bring in some connective language. This is part of our scripting, guys. The connective language is, okay, well, so Jane, it sounds like we're building a bridge to that $5 million business. Right now, you're running a $2 million business, $2 million business unit or division, and you just told me that you'd like to grow in the next 3 years to a $5 million business. So this program is really about building that bridge to the $5 million business that you'd like to create. And I'm guessing you'd like to create that sooner rather than later. Yes, I would. Fantastic. You see how we're not talking about a speech anymore? We're not talking about a consulting program anymore. We're not talking about a coaching package or an online course anymore. We're talking about getting our clients to their goals faster, smarter, and better than they could on their own. Another piece of connective language. So it sounds like we're on the road to getting you X outcome. You have 25% turnover now, and we'd like to get that down to about 5 or 7%. So we're on the road to getting you down to that 5 or 7% turnover where it's not a revolving door anymore. You're not having to constantly hire key people. You're not having to constantly spend money on recruiters. And you told me you're spending about $1.2 million on recruiters every year. What if we could cut that down just by 25%? Cut that down by 25%. That would save you $300,000, right? I'm just doing some back of the envelope math. Did I get that right, Susan? That it's 25% of 1.2 million? Well, how much is that? Oh, 300K. So now I'm naming these numbers. Guess what? My speaking fee is a lot less than 300K because we're on the road to getting you that outcome. Third one, we're moving the needle. So, you're saying that you're number 5 in the marketplace. You'd like to be number 1 or number 2 in the marketplace. Well, we're moving the needle to that number 1 position. This program that we're doing, this speech, this seminar, this workshop, this strategic work session is going to help you move the needle to you reclaiming that number 1 spot that you know you deserve in this industry. Yes, Rick, absolutely right. Forrest, you're right. That's what we want. That's what we need. We're no longer selling a speech, folks. We're selling a connection to their dream and an acceleration of their goals. So here's the exact scripting. After you've had that conversation, here's what to say. For the program that we just talked about, that will improve, boost, create, generate, reduce, slash, solve, fix, right? These are outcome words. These are destination words. These are words on the other side of that bridge that we just built. And give your folks the exact strategies, mindset, and skill set to significantly move the needle on the results that you said were most important, namely number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, for you and for the whole team, for you and for your whole conference, for you and your whole department, for you and all your employees, the investment is only $7,500. Now that number is the smallest number that I've said out loud during this whole conversation. I've said 1.2 million. I said 100,000. I said 300,000. I said, how much are the widgets? The widgets are 1,000 times 20, 20,000. How often do you hit that? 25,000, 50,000. This is the last number and the smallest number in the sales conversation. If you guys see the power of this, type in power in the question box. If you're loving this script, I want you to screenshot this. Screenshot this, capture this. This is gold right here. But if you see the power of how this applies to you and your business, please type in the word power. And I'm wondering how many folks are going to use this afternoon. Rick, how many folks see the power in this type of sales conversation to present their fee the right way?
I can't keep it up with it right now. The power's coming through just over and over and over and over. Karen says power, woo-woo, big atomic power. That's a good one. Let's see. Fernando says power again. Yep. Power gold. Thank you, Nelly. Steven says power ranger power.
Nice.
I'm guessing Steven has some kids there, maybe. Castle Grayskull power. Thank you, Stephen Buller. Very good. Yeah. I'm using this amazing wording. Okay, Karen says she's going to use this amazing wording. And John says, aha. Good. These are great yes, responses. Indeed, folks. The power keeps coming in over and over and over.
This is the aha, right? I mean, this is literally the aha moment that will take you from, I couldn't possibly charge $7,500 to $7,500 becomes pocket change. It becomes expected. It becomes normal. It becomes standard for you. It becomes easy for you. Because now you're tapping into their goals and what they want, and we've monetized and dollarized that. So again, the concept here is called contrast of scale and context of value. Write that down somewhere. Context of scale and contrast of value. A little value in, tremendous value out when they hire you for $7,500. So let's talk about this and our client, Susan Robertson. Susan came through our program. This is an actual Facebook message that she's like, hey, I caught a live one. And I'm in blue. I said, so hang on. This is a confirmed gig. And how much are they paying? She says, yes, $7,500. Now, she had never been paid this much money for a speech ever. She'd been paid as a consultant. She'd been paid for some project work. But this was a watershed moment for her speaking-driven business. Then later, she says, quick good news to share. This was a couple weeks later. Actually, it was more like I think it was 5 weeks later. Just got a speaking gig I feel sure I never would have gotten if I weren't in your program. It's chock full of prime prospects for me. I would have done it for free. Notice that language. I would have done it for free. But instead, I'm getting $3,500 plus full-length HD video, plus personal introductions to people I target from their list, plus video testimonials. That's a huge win for me for something I would have normally done for free and probably wouldn't have even thought to try to get regardless. Like, I wasn't good enough. This conference is so big. This conference is so prestigious. They wouldn't take little Susan Robertson. Well, they were loving little Susan Robertson. She did a total home run from 0 to 11. Between these two gigs, $0 to $11,000 over the course of 6 weeks. So, first couple weeks, $7,500 in the door. 5 weeks after that, another gig that she wouldn't have even gone for, would have previously done it gladly for free because it was such an honor. It was such a big deal. It was such an important conference. And she totally rocked it, and she negotiated a fair fee with some non-financial compensation. That's what we call that, by the way. It's non-financial compensation. Can you give me a video? Can you give me personal introductions? Can we do video testimonials on site? And she wrote that into her agreement. And then what it said was, speaking fee, $7,500. Discount in consideration of item, right? Minus $4,000, amount due $3,500. So her speaking fee still maintained the integrity of $7,500. There's just non-financial components to her compensation. Huge, huge win for Susan, and we see this all the time with our clients. So here's a bonus tip. Always end your speaking fees with a 500. It's weird human psychology. $7,500 always sounds less than $7,000 because 1,000 is a scary word and 500 is a cute little word. Like the word 100, it's so cute. It's so cuddly. It's like a little puppy. 9,500 sounds less than $9,000. Thousand's a scary word. Let's not use scary words with our prospects. Let's get $500 more. So take your spouse out for a nice dinner, for example, and charge $7,500. It sounds more friendly because here's the deal. Here's the puppy. How much for the puppy? Oh, look, he's so friendly. He's so cute. He's just $2,500. Is that a $2,000 dog? No. Cute, fuzzy. Look at that little black nose. Just want to go boop, boop, boop. Just boop that little nose. $2,500. Easy, fun, done, bam. So let's knock out some myths, then we'll get to our Q&A, and then we'll talk about some next steps. Myth number 1, nonprofits should pay less money. Well, the entire association industry, my friends, is a nonprofit industry. Associations and nonprofits should never pay less money. Tell you a quick story. I did a program a couple years ago for a trade and professional association, which is a nonprofit. And they said, oh, David, so I quoted and I got my fee. We had the contract. Some little person from the purchasing group calls me a few days later. Oh, David, yeah, we forgot to ask you. We forgot to ask for your nonprofit rate. You know what the comeback is? No problem. That is my nonprofit rate. Because my nonprofit rate is the same as my for-profit rate. My for-profit rate is the same as my nonprofit rate. My rate when it's rainy is the same when the rate is sunny. When I'm feeling happy, my rate is my rate. When I'm feeling sad, my rate is my rate. 7 days a week, my rate is my rate. There's no difference. So when someone says, oh, I forgot to ask you, Rick, is that your nonprofit rate? Yes, Susan, that's my nonprofit rate. Here is another big myth. Myth number 2 is about taximeter pricing. 1 hour costs this, 90 minutes cost this, 2 hours cost this, 2.5 hours cost this. Please don't do that. You're not running a taxi. Taximeter pricing will absolutely kill you. You need to have one number for one day, and they get you for the whole day. This is one of my most popular Facebook posts ever. Look at this, 614 likes, 125 people shared it, and it's got 84 comments. And it says speaking fee schedule. Corporate, association, nonprofit, government, big group, small group, local group, nice hotel, crappy hotel, good exposure, no one else is paid, you can sell books, you'll get leads, how about just 45 minutes? Any other BS excuse. Great. It's $7,500. It's $7,500. It's $7,500. It's $7,500. So this obviously struck a chord. Right? One of my most popular posts before this was like, hey, what's your favorite kind of cheese? And 87 people liked it. 614 people liked this post and 125 people shared it. This is unprecedented in David Newman marketing land, but it obviously struck a chord. And I need this to strike a chord with you. Plug in your number. There is no excuse. There is no way that you should not be getting paid your fee, or a negotiated fee that is commensurate with your fee, with the non-financial compensation. A lot of people misunderstand this part of the program, and they think what I'm saying is never speak for free. That's not what I'm saying, and we can cover that in the Q&A if you have questions about that. I'm perfectly okay with speaking for free if it's strategic. I am not okay speaking for free when you were after a paid gig and they didn't have a budget and you settled for zero. Because that's when you're in the cave again. That's when you're caving on price from $7,500 down to zero, and that will kill your business, and that will kill your finances, and that will kill your marriage, and that will kill your bank account, and that will kill your home equity line, that will kill all kinds of things that are important to you. Myth number 3, notice that this woman, obviously a speaker from her dashing suit, and she has a big S on her sweater. And the S stands for super speaker. That you have to be a super speaker to charge this kind of money. You need to have some kind of special rainbow unicorn fairy dust sprinkled on you at birth. Otherwise, none of this applies to you. No more super speaker syndrome, my friends. No more super speaker syndrome. Please don't victimize yourself like that. If you felt this way, that only super speakers can charge whatever, and then in your head you're saying, I'm not ready. I'm just starting out. I'm not a big name. I don't have a bestseller. I don't have a PhD. I don't have a zillion clients. I never charged more than $500. If that sounds familiar to you, that is super speaker syndrome. It's also called the imposter syndrome, that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, this isn't for you, this is just for other people. Completely not true. In each of these case studies I've shared with you, people have overcome that imposter syndrome, and they've overcome it quick with our coaching and mentoring and help. So let me ask you a tough question. Again, we're going to go to the question box here, Rick. How much money have you lost by believing in those three myths? Either the nonprofits have to pay less, taximeter pricing, or that you have to be some kind of super speaker to make this math work for you. And again, put in a number, like how much do you think you've lost over the years that you've been doing this? And then what's the source of that? Is it the nonprofit myth? Type in non. Is it the taximeter pricing where, 3 hours it's less than, 2 hours is less than 3, 1 hour is less than 2? Because you do that, people say, well, how much for 20 minutes? How much for 10 minutes? Can I buy you by the minute? It's like, no, you can't buy me by the minute. But that's taximeter pricing problem. And then super speaker syndrome is, I'm not a super speaker. I guess making a living at this is for other people, and it's not for me, and I'm not good enough, and I'm not worthy. And again, how do I know this so articulately? How can I be teaching and preaching this so energetically? I had the nonprofit myth. I did the taximeter pricing. I thought that this business was for everybody else except me. Until I had that wake-up call, until I realized some of this fee setting and fee getting strategies that you guys are now getting today, until that became real for me, I was bouncing all over the map with this too. So Rick, what's our top seller here? Is it nonprofit? Is it non? Is it taxi? Is it super?
It looks like nonprofit and super. We got one person here for us that have lost thousands. I'm running a taxi service, is what he said.
Yeah.
And Mary said, I haven't been speaking, but in consulting a nonprofit, probably lost 10 to 15,000. Here's the big one: $100,000 probably in nonprofits and colleges. Dave says, David.
Yeah.
So man, huge numbers.
That is huge. Now, Rick, I realize that I'm looking at the clock here. Do you have a time limit to pop off here?
Not right now. I'll let you know if I do, though.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm good.
awesome.
So I want to hang and watch this. This is exciting me.
I know, right? This is good stuff. Myth number 4 is that meeting planners don't want to talk to you. Meeting planners, conference producers, and again, I spent a year myself as a meeting planner and conference producer and executive who hired over 160 speakers for all kinds of events, live events, online events, audio conferences, live summits. This is absolutely not true. The myth that meeting planners don't want to speak to you is not true. Here's the biggest takeaway. If you charge a lot of money, meeting planners do want to speak to you, and here's why. People buy who they are. And you're either Timex or you're Rolex. Timex people buy Timex watches. Rolex people buy Rolex watches. Timex people buy Timex speakers. Rolex prospects and clients buy Rolex speakers. What does that mean? That means when you charge a good fee, like $55, $65, $7,500, you're going to turn off all the freebie seekers. These are people I call freeple. The freeple. And we all have freeple in our business. The hangers-on, the people that just want all the free stuff and never buy, never commit, right? Never want to pay you $7,500 to go out there and speak. You will turn those people off, and that's a good thing. And you will repel the cheapies, what I call the cheaple, right? The cheap people, the $500 speaker, $1,200, $800. Well, we'll give you $2,000 to come and speak. No, you won't, because I'm not a cheap speaker and I don't work for cheaple clients. And the most exciting part of this is you will finally attract your people. You will finally show up on the radar screen of the premium clients that have been looking for you. and they've been looking for you, and they've been expecting you to show up on their radar, charging premium fees for premium programs. So stop selling to Timex, start selling to Rolex, and you will get a much warmer reception. So another great success story from our program, and again, just that this was from a few months ago, Tony Lucero says, long story short, I picked up 2 coaching clients totaling $32,400, and I'm on retainer for 90 days at $10,000 per month with the company. Not bad. The reason I'm telling you this is not to boast or to brag. The activity that David outlines and and what I wanted to focus on, I wanted to attract, allowed the doors to be open. Stay the course, do the work, and know your target market. I believe in you all. Get activated. And my comment here down below to Tony is love, love, love these results, energy, and momentum. Go, Tony. And then Tony says at the bottom, your program, David, made this possible. So again, when I talk about a speaking-driven business, it's not just speaking on the stage. He spoke. They loved it. He said, okay, how do I sell the coaching? How do I sell the consulting? How do I sell the after sale? And we worked on that, and he did a brilliant job of implementing it, and you can see the results there. Literally tens of thousands of dollars. He got paid for the speech, too. But $32,400, $10,000 a month, so that's another $30,000. So it's a $62,400 deal from a fee-paid speech in front of the right target market. So is that possible? Absolutely. Is it possible within weeks instead of waiting months and months and years and years? If you believe that you've got the juice, like Tony believes he has the juice, it is totally possible and is totally doable. Myth number 5 is every audience is a good audience. So here's an audience. I know that our friend Steve Bollar is here, so maybe this is his audience, but typically not. Typically it's teachers and principals and people like that. But, Steve probably has these kids in his school district. This audience would not be a great audience for me. This audience would not be a great audience for me. So every audience is a good audience? No, not true. Here's the harsh truth, my friends, and I made mention of this a second ago. By charging too little and staying focused on groups who can quote-unquote afford your too low rate, you have totally cut yourself off from the entire top tier of clients who are looking for top-tier speakers who charge top-tier fees. So if the sooner you get out of small potatoes land, the sooner this new market and these new opportunities will come into focus. If all you see is small potatoes, you will never see the real clients that have the real fees to pay you. So think about, and that's false thinking, by the way. Every speaker is a good every audience is a good audience, and the whole false thinking. I'm just wondering if you felt yourself held back by some of this false thinking that I just mentioned, these last 2 things, type in FT or yes FT for false thinking. That every audience is a good audience and meeting planners don't want to talk to you if you're too expensive. Yes, FT, false thinking, totally false thinking that's been artificially and needlessly holding you back.
Yeah, a lot of responses on that. Still coming in, yeah.
Yeah.
FT, yes, FT, yes, FT. I wasn't really thinking.
Yeah, well, there you go. I love that. It's not false thinking, it's lack of thinking. I love that. And thank you for that confession. So here's the definition of a good client. From our standpoint, a good client has a need and a problem and a logical reason to hire you. They also have a desire and a need, an emotional need to fix this problem. You happen to be a good to great fit for your topic and your solution to solve that problem, right? They have an authority to buy and they have an appropriate budget. So that's my 5 criteria for a good client. Do you have the need? Do you have the desire? Is this a fit to actually solve your problem? Are you the economic buyer? And do you have the budget to bring me in? I put appropriate budget in red. If everything else is a go and they don't have your budget, they were never a good prospect to begin with. They were never a good prospect to begin with. Now, let's flip it. Let's go to the buyer's side of the table. Definition of a good speaker. And this is how we have to reshift and reposition you. Are you coming onto their radar with a relevant message in a timely manner? High relevance, high value. Can you prove that you have the expertise and the experience to actually help them? Is your topic a good fit for the solution and the problem that they want to solve? Are you easy to work with? And do you have an appropriate fee? Too cheap, you'll scare them away. Too expensive, you'll scare them away. I showed you where the sweet spot is from Smart Meetings Magazine, 5 to 10K. If you've already been getting 10, then you're in a different bracket. That's great. Let's get you from 10 to 12 or 15. No problem. But if you're no name, no brand speaker, think about this. No name, no brand speaker with high value, high relevance, expertise, good fit, easy to work with. You're not a jerk. And you present a $5,000 to $10,000 fee. They say, I think we found our guy. I think we found our gal. This person seems like a serious, credible professional. Why? Because they're charging $5,500, $6,500. They're not some goober. They're not some goofball, some amateur, some dilettante, some little wannabe who's dipping their toe in the water. So rookie mistake is not seeing the incentives and disincentives of your own pricing. Here's what I mean. Folks come into our program. They say, man, I got a problem. I want to do less training and more keynoting. I say, well, great. What's your fee structure? $7,500 for a keynote, $5,500 for a full day of training. Now, you're seeing it because this isn't you. You're seeing it plain as day, like I saw it plain as day. I said, there's an economic disincentive to have you come in and keynote. If your keynote's more expensive than your training, of course you're getting a lot of training. I'm no dummy. I'll take you for the whole day and save $2,000. So let's switch it. Let's make your 60-minute keynote $5,500 and your full day training $7,500. He started doing this. Guess what started happening the next week? Literally the next week. Not someday, not maybe, not over the few months. Next week, his balance started to shift. His keynote calendar started to fill. His training calendar started to empty. Very easy to not see the incentives and disincentives of your own pricing. Number 2, not paying attention to fee increases or fee volume. Example number 1, I had a Toastmasters world champion come to me. He hadn't raised his fee in 8 years. He had a good fee. It was $10,000. It was $10,000 for 8 years running. I said, do me a favor. The next time someone asks you, please quote 12.5. I said, you've been stuck for 8 years at 10 grand. Please quote 12.5. The next week, someone calls up, says, hey, I want 2 programs. How much are they? He bites his tongue. He says 12.5. They say, great, we'll take it. Here are the dates. Let's put the contract in place. One phone call, I made him $5,000 extra. So he charged 12.5. He made 25. He would have gladly sold that for 20. Been selling it for 20 for years and years and years. I said, start quoting 12.5. You'll get more at 12.5. $25,000 sale the following week. So rookie mistake is a lot of speakers are broke. Here's the sad truth. Only 6% of speaking-driven professionals earn over 6 figures. Only 1% earn over $1 million. You may be thinking too small. If you're not in these numbers, you're not making at least 6 figures, multiple 6 figures. You're thinking too small. You're aiming too low. You're earning too little. Here's a roadmap of how to get to $300,000. If you take my pricing advice, $5,000, and you want to go get 2 speeches a month, which is not hard to do if you know what you're doing. Now we're at $120,000 just by doing that. $10,000 a month, 12 months a year, $120K. If you want to add some training into that, great. If you don't, no problem. It's optional. If you want to add some coaching into that, great. No problem. If I'm just doing 2 training dates and a coaching program, 120 plus 72, I'm at 192. Ignore the training. That's why it's blue. If you want to do the training and the speaking, ignore the coaching. That's why it's black. 120 and 120, now you're making 240. You don't even need to do all of these components. But if you do all 3 of these components, and again, not very ambitious if you know what you're doing, that's $312,000. Now, this is not even counting other things that you're going to get by just natural happenstance. This is not counting repeat business, referral business, not counting any spinoff, not counting books, not counting product sales, not counting sponsorship, not counting licensing, not counting anything other than this. So even if partially you can see doing 2 gigs a month and getting that 120, you can see adding a little coaching revenue and maybe now we're up to the 200K level. Maybe you're, forget the coaching. Maybe you're in a pure speaking and training mode. 120 plus 120, I'd be happy with 240. Any combination here is good. You want to get it firing on all cylinders? Again, it's within reach. But you don't even have to have all of this going. My question for you is, does this feel real? If you're not making these kinds of dollars, do you think you've been aiming too low? And just go ahead and type in too low. Yes, too low, or just too low. If you think this is some kind of rainbow, unicorn, special magic person that you have to be, I'm telling you, it's not. It's not. We've got folks that are graduates of our program that are easily making $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 a month reliably and consistently. It is not magic. It is not reserved for special super speaker people. You can do it if you stick with your fees, you understand your value, and you have the right kind of conversation with the right kind of prospect in the right kind of way. So I'm curious, do we have some folks that may have been lowballing it and now are willing to stop? How many people?
Yeah, there's about 15, 20. I just want to quickly also say the people that are asking questions along the way, hold those questions to the very end if you could and ask them.
Yes, but, we're rounding the home stretch here, guys. We're rounding the home stretch. I just want to give you maximum value on this call today.
I like this one. They said, I've been playing Limbo.
Yeah, how low can you go?
Too low. Yeah, that's Doshan said that. Thank you.
How low can you go? So yeah, we have lots and lots and lots of too low. So listen, I'm not sure exactly why you showed up today. It could be that you're a seasoned pro who wants to get more gigs at higher fees. It could be that you're an author or expert who wants to speak more and earn more. It could be that you're already doing some coaching and consulting and you simply want to turn speaking into clients. Maybe, like some of the case studies we've seen, you simply want to impact more people. You want to finally raise your fees, and you want to get out of that low fee, no fee hell. So now you have a choice, my friends. You can go the old way with the old results, underbooked, underpaid, keep being confused about the money part of this, spinning your wheels, still not earning what you deserve, not reaching your next level of income, can't figure out that password to the secret club of experts who are making great money. No guidance, no accountability, no mentoring, no support. It's a hard, lonely road. Many of you guys know what I'm talking about there because you've been on that hard, lonely road, as was I. As was I. Other choice is that can all end today. And we can sit down, we can diagnose what's really going on for you. We can find your strategic gaps. We can help you refocus, reframe, and reboot your speaking-driven business, and especially the money part. We can look at what needs to be fixed with your messaging, with your packaging, with your positioning, with your pricing and your fees, with your marketing, with the way that you're doing your sales and your prospecting. We can fill in what's missing for you to consistently get clients that you love and finally earn what you deserve. And the place to book a call with me or with Rick or with someone on our team is doitmarketing.com/apply. And Rick, you want to just type that into the chat window that's over there on that right-hand sidebar. There's a little chat window that's below the question box, I think, and just type in that doitmarketing.com/apply URL so people can click on it if they want that. And I'll just explain this for a minute, then we're going to pop into our Q&A right away. Here's how we can help. So some of you guys know that the awesome Teresa French is on our team. Rick is on our team. We've got me on the team. I'm kind of the slow kid in the back of the bus. Our team has set aside some time to speak to you personally about how you can apply these ideas that we talked about today to your specific business starting right now. The cost for these sessions, because you're on this masterclass, is $0. The place to go to book your time and to fill out a short questionnaire so we kind of know where you're coming from, we can hit the ground running, is doitmarketing.com/apply. So let's really talk about who this is for and who this is not for. So this is not for you if building a high-fee, speaking-driven business is not your number one priority for the next 3 to 6 months. And let me, oops, you know what? Let me actually, I popped off here to the wrong screen. And Let me just pop this into here. You guys should have a little hot clickable link here in the chat, in the question window, in the chat window, to make sure that's coming through for you. I just popped out of my presentation here for a second. So it's this needs to be your top priority. It really does. It's also not for you if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up. So this is, again, not for the dabblers, not for the hobbyists, not for the amateurs and the strugglers. It's not for you if you refuse to follow a proven process and take action on instructions. It's not for you if you refuse to change your low-fee mindset and your low-fee business model. So you need to be coachable. You really need to be coachable. It's not for you if you're a fake expert and you're kind of a scammer and a flim-flam kind of person. Your program or topic doesn't truly help people and companies to improve. And it's also not for you if you're down to your last few dollars and you need to pay the rent this month. A lot of people think this is a get-rich-quick kind of thing. This is totally not a get-rich-quick kind of thing. This is a get-rich-smart kind of thing. Will it take weeks? Will it take months? Well, we don't know. If you do the more, again, you saw the case studies. When you do the work, you will get the results so fast that your head's going to spin. If you don't do any work, big shock, big surprise, you will get no results. So we don't want people that are in here kind of desperate to make money tomorrow, because that's not how it works. This is for you, on the other hand, and we'd love to talk to you over at doitmarketing.com/apply. If you are serious, decisive, and committed to making your speaking-driven business profitable over the next 60 days. This is totally for you, whether you're brand new to speaking or you're a seasoned pro. We've worked on folks with all ends of the spectrum, and you saw that in some of our success stories. Whether you've got your niche or message totally nailed down or not, you do not have to have your niche and your message and your topic totally nailed down. That's part of what we work on, and that's part of what we work on during that strategy call also. Whether you're in it full-time or planning your corporate escape. So maybe you're going to dig your well before you're thirsty, and you want to build the foundations for your speaking-driven business while you're still working the day job. That is perfectly fine. We'd love to talk to you and help you do that. Whether you've gotten paid speaking gigs or not. And again, you've seen a lot of our success stories have been 0, 0, 0, 0 skyrocket fee. 0, 0, 0, oh my goodness, I'm finally getting paid. So whether you've been paid or not is not really a good indication of can we get you repackaged and remessaged and refocused on the kind of gigs that will pay you a beautiful speaking fee. This is for you if you're willing to follow a proven process to ramp up your revenue and you take mentorship and direction well. And it's especially for you if you want to put 10K to 20K in your pocket over the next 60 to 90 days and build a predictable flow of clients and cash for every month and every year after that. So it's doitmarketing.com/apply. Let's see if we can get you on the phone with Rick, get you on the phone with Teresa, get you on the phone with me, and see how we can help you. So on the call, we're going to help you get total clarity about exactly what you want your speaking-driven business to look like and the exact steps that you should take to achieve your goals. If you want our help and if we think it's a good fit, we may invite you to work with us and we may not. Either way, here's my promise to you. It is going to be the most valuable 45 to 55 minutes that you will ever invest to grow your speaking-driven business and to help you get results. So we also don't take everyone that applies, obviously. We need to be sure that you're positioned and packaged and ready to make some of these shifts. And again, if we invite you into the program, that'll be an option for you. If we invite you in and you say, no thanks, I'm good, I'll just kind of, fly solo here, that's kind of what you've been doing up to this point, and that's cool too. But we're really here to help. So if you're interested in a rapid breakthrough, that is where to go. I know I have limited availability tomorrow. Rick is a little bit open. I think Rick may even have some spots this afternoon, starting in about 30 minutes or so. We don't have a lot of spots, and we don't work with a lot of people. So you do need to meet those criteria if you are serious. And if you're interested in a rapid breakthrough on one of these speaker strategy sessions to see how we can help you, I want you to do this now. You've probably spent enough time waiting, enough time spinning your wheels, enough time in low fee and no fee hell, that if it's time to get out of that, the time is probably now. So with that, let's go to our Q&A. What questions do you have about what we talked about today? What can Rick and I answer for you? And how else can we help? It is Q&A time. It is open mic. That URL is still hot and active right now. If you go to doitmarketing.com/apply during our Q&A, we should be able to fit you in today, tomorrow. I think we're even opening up some slots on Monday to talk to people. And that's going to be about it for this particular crew. So, Rick, what questions are coming in? By the way, if you typed a question earlier, please retype it, because I know things are flying fast and furious here for Rick as he's going through these. If we missed a question earlier, feel free to retype it, and we will do our best to answer as they come in. So let's see.
Yeah, thank you, David. Sonny has a question. It seems there are a couple basic speaking products. There's Keynote Half Day and Whole Day. How should those differ in basic pricing?
Zero. When we talked about that, that's just a macro version of the taximeter, right? So I'm a firm believer in single fee pricing. So if you're $7,500, you're $7,500 for 6 hours, 8 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes, whatever. It's to get me to put pants on. It's $7,500. It's $9,500. It's $4,500. Whatever your number is. Once you have me at your event, if I'm at your event in Seattle, Washington at 9 a.m. doing your keynote, trust me, I'm not going to be in Boston doing something else at noon. I'm not going to be in Chicago doing something else, for a closing keynote at 3 o'clock that afternoon. You have me for the whole day. So you might as well use me for the keynote in the morning, do a executive session at lunchtime, moderate a panel in the afternoon, and then host your awards ceremony at the end of day one. I'm not leaving till the next morning anyway. Now, when I present that to clients, and when my clients present that to their clients, they go, "Oh my gosh, really? You would do all of that for one fee?" And the person says, "Yes." All the other speakers I'm talking to, they're nickel and diming me they want $2,000 more for that. They want $3,000 more for that. They want $1,500 more for that. And the comeback is, well, yeah, I know. That's probably why I should be your speaker.
Excellent.
So that's the deal there.
Renee has this question. My target audience is high school students, high school athletes. What do I do, because it's high schools specifically that hire me?
Well, I guess so. There you could stay in that market, and again, that's where Mike Thompson was. That's where a few people that came through our program were. If you're willing to pivot or apply that expertise to a business market that might be more profitable for you, I'm not saying that you have to do that, but there is a natural ceiling to what the education market's willing to pay. And I'm sure you've experienced that. High schools, sadly, elementary, middle school, high school, this is the most important audience that we're ever going to speak to. And it's also the most undervalued and underpaid audience that we're ever going to speak to if we're coming in for a education conference, a principals meeting, a school district meeting, superintendent meeting. You can make it work. And again, my friend Steve Bullar, who's on this call, he has made it work to whatever extent it can work in that industry. And we can fine tune that and we can upgrade that, but you're not going to have the leeway that you would in a business topic. So the reason I shared Mike Thompson's success story is he came out of education. He was able to pivot his program into a more corporate-facing business program, and that's where those sponsorships came from. Now, he's got some school sponsorship as well that he's working on, but the high dollar $75,000 a year for 3 years, that was from a business.
Got it. That's
so
great.
It's doable, but it's not necessarily a slam dunk. It's going to be harder for you in education.
Dominique is asking, would these also be the touch points to tell them when helping them understand the speaker fee? In other words, do we break down the price per person? Is that helpful?
No. So, oh my God, what a great question. So please don't ever mistake that example that I gave you that you should be doing per person pricing. So immediately scrub that from your brain, erase that from your head. Let's revisit that for a quick second. what that was meant to help you with is to overcome the intrinsic ceiling that you're putting on your own value. When I get up on stage, am I delivering at least $50 of value per person? Hell yes. It's more like 100. I'm even willing to say everyone that listens to me, they're getting $10,000 worth of value if I'm doing my marketing keynote and my marketing program. Between the scripting, the tools, the templates, the money they're going to make after they leave that keynote, will I impact them for 10 grand? Yes. So am I totally comfortable in my head charging $9,500? Sure. I'm not going to tell a meeting planner, by the way, my fee divided by your attendees, it's only $42 a person. Isn't that great? First of all, that's not great. That's silly. And they're not going to buy that. Because anytime you do per person pricing, here's what's going to happen. They're going to say, well, we have 1,000 people. Nah, you know what? Let's just do 500 people. No, hang on. This is just a kind of special group. Let's do 150 people. And then, how about we do this for like just the top 50 people? You know what? It's really just our top 20 executives. Well, how about we just do like our CEO and our VP and like just do a webinar for them? And literally, it's another version of how low can you go? How few people can I put in your program? I never want to incentivize you taking away my audience. So we never, ever, ever do per person pricing. We never, ever, ever do per minute or per hour pricing, right? The fee is the fee to increase your own inner confidence level in knowing that you are earning that fee 5 or 10 times over every time you take the stage. That's why I was doing that per person math, just for your own internal head.
Great question. Doshan says, what if I don't have a demo video?
So that's phase 2, and a lot of our folks don't have a demo video. And again, let's go back to what I said. No name, no brand, right? You're not being hired for the show. The only people that need a demo video on day one is people who are intrinsic performers, right? They're jugglers, they're magicians, they're hired for their fantastic hair and great teeth, and they're beautiful people, and they have some Hollywood factor, right? A working conference speaker / expert / consultant is hired for their topic expertise. They're not hired for the show. They're not hired for the glitz and the glamour. Should you have a speaking demo video? Yes. Do you need that on day 1 or day 50 or day 100? No. A lot of people make the other mistake where they get the video done and they're not ready. So my advice on that, Darshan, is no video beats a bad video. A video that's not ready for prime time, where you're showcasing this amateur hour performance or bad production values or bad sound or bad lighting, they go, oh, I get it, this guy's an amateur. I'd rather have no video and have them guess rather than show them a terrible video and have them know.
Great. David Perry is asking, I want to understand if it's possible to hire someone else to make the calls to book the deals. Is there a program for that? I want my partner to be able to do that while I continue with the other side of this business.
So yes and no and no. How's that for an answer? And great question. By the way, we've had people in our mentoring program where that is exactly the case. So in one case, Tom and Paula, Tom is the speaker, and Paula is kind of the business booking engine behind Tom's business. But here's the rub. Unless you're married to this person, unless this person's heavily involved in your business already, you need to be training this person. Like if I were to train my spouse, I'm married for 32 years. How she puts up with me, I have no idea. I'm blessed every day. I pinch myself every day that I'm married to this amazing woman. She knows a little bit about my business. I'd say she even knows a medium amount about my business. In order for her to get on the phone or get on email or get on LinkedIn and connect with my prospects, she would need to be thoroughly, and I mean thoroughly trained in what to say, what to send, how to talk about it, how not to talk about it, right? All the scripting, all the stuff that we just did right here on this masterclass today, my wife doesn't know this. She has no idea how she could have the bridging conversation, the outcome conversation, the ROI, the dollarization, the. So you need to master this like anything else. And then, Rick, you're a business owner. You can talk to this in spades more than I can. You need to do this yourself before it becomes possible to delegate it, manage it, and maximize it. If you abdicate, on the other hand, you abdicate your responsibility. Oh, I don't want to do the sales part. I don't want to do the fun part. I want to go travel. I want to go speak. I want to go write my books. I want to write my blog. Let's let some other poor sap do the dirty work. You will never be successful in this business. Rick, can you speak to that for a minute, just to kind of about business ownership and delegation and training your sales team?
Yeah, it's the massive difference between abdication and allocation. And, abdicating means I wish somebody else would do this stuff because I hate doing it. So let me find somebody that will do the stuff I hate doing. Well, what if they don't know how to do it? What if they're not doing it exactly the way you want to? If you don't have a specific systems in place with the full knowledge of with the person who's doing it, has to have the full knowledge of what those systems mean and how it's going. The worst thing you can have is somebody selling your product that comes up with a, golly, I don't know, let me get back to you on that, right? You don't want that to ever come out of their mouth. They ought to be able to answer every single question all the way down the line. Nobody sells you better than you.
Yeah, for sure. For absolutely sure. And again, if there was some magic, again, the reason that Rick and I and Teresa and Monica and the whole team, the reason we're in business is you can't just hand this off and say, hey, can someone else take care of all this? Can someone else take care of all this kind of marketing and selling and prospecting and, connecting with buyers and closing deals and negotiating? And I don't like doing that. That's not my strength. You know what? It needs to become your strength. This needs to be a muscle that you develop. And it's funny, I had a conversation with a brand new client who said, David, I never liked marketing and I never liked sales until I came into your program. And I think Darshan and you and I had a very similar Facebook message exchange. I said, man, if you don't like marketing and you don't like selling, you are doing it wrong. So there's some foundational problem that, you have some old school sales training, or you think that sales is about pushing and striving and being sleazy and scummy, and it's absolutely not. Rick's definition, my definition, Teresa's definition of sales is a mutual exchange of value and a transference of trust and confidence in the outcomes that we're going to generate. So again, if you have a meeting planner conversation, you have a conference producer conversation, you're talking to an association executive with that ROI discussion top of mind, with the bridging language, with the exact script that talks about outcomes and outputs and not a you-centered language, they already get that you are going to be their champion. You are going to be their connector to the results that they want. You are going to be the person that's going to finally solve their problems, even though they've been promised the moon. Because a lot of people, even in our business, Rick, right? People are promising them, oh yeah, this is going to be the ultimate super duper speaker coaching program. And people feel burned and they feel screwed over and they feel let down. And it's promise after promise after promise that's been broken because this is not your first rodeo. And when you transfer that now to your client base, those meeting planners, those conference producers, those association executives, it's not their first rodeo either. So the marketing and sales process is built on a couple of things. Number one, honesty. Number two, truth. Number three, a deep dive investigative questioning process that surfaces exactly what they want, exactly what they need, and exactly why this is important to them personally and professionally. So if you do it that way, these sales conversations actually become fun. And I'm actually looking forward to when I have an appointment on my calendar, a meeting planner, a prospect, a client, a conference producer, an association executive. I can't wait to connect with them. I can't wait to send them an email. I can't wait to connect with them on LinkedIn. I can't wait to find out about their event, about their people, about their team, about what they're working on, what they're excited about. And I'm coming into that conversation armed with a whole bunch of questions. I am not pitching. I am not pushing. I am not striving. I am not selling. In fact, the way that Rick and Teresa and I do our sales and our investigative questioning is we're actually peeling back the onion to see if our prospects qualify for us. So we are in the driver's seat of that sales process, just like you need to be in the driver's seat of your sales process. If you're in the driver's seat and you're driving a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a BMW, believe me, it's fun to be in the driver's seat. It's not so much fun being roadkill. So if sales and marketing has like worn you down to where you're feeling like roadkill, you're on the wrong side of that equation.
Yeah, David, I also say I'm not trying to close a sale. I'm trying to open a relationship. And that seems to make a big difference. Fernando, by the way, your question, the page doesn't fully come out. Go ahead and email me at rick@doitmarketing.com if it's not working for you, if somehow the link is not working, Fernando, if you got that one. Let's see. Sandra says, and by the way, let me first off go back to Renee, because Renee said we didn't answer the question fully. I want to touch base on that, Renee. I'm sorry about that. She said, I didn't ask it the complete question. So let me just read it as it is. My target market is high school student athletes. I was a college coach for 14 years and helped kids with college recruiting process. What do I do? Because it's high school students, high schools hiring me. And then she follows up with, my program can't pivot.
Well, my program can't pivot. Do you have other? So I guess there's two questions. Question number one: do you want to pivot out of education? And if the answer is no, then we stop the conversation there. If you do want to pivot out of education, then the question becomes: how is that same skill set and methodology and strategy and tools that you share with high school students? What's the adult equivalent? What's the business equivalent of that? And are you interested in exploring that or not? So we could build up your education business if you're committed to that and you say, this is what I'm born to do, this is what I have to be doing. Or we can look at a pivot strategy, but the pivot only works if you want to pivot. Forget about your content. Your content, of course, doesn't pivot. Your content's very specific to these people. My question is, does your expertise and interest and passion pivot? Could you recreate a program using the same strategies, principles, methodology, and basic core ideas into adult learning and a business context? And if you don't want to, that's cool. And if you do want to, that's cool. And we can talk about it when you book your call.
Yeah, Renee, if this didn't answer it fully, go ahead and book a call. We can always ask every question there, of course. Sandra says, this is a great one, Sandra. How do we find people who can afford these fees?
Well, I'm going to give you a really simple, stupid answer. The first question is start looking. Start looking for the truly paid professional gigs and stop looking and stop accepting, like my client Nancy in Buffalo. Again, let's repeat her big complaint. David, all I'm finding is these low fee and no fee gigs. I said, Nancy, that's not the problem. The problem is that you're taking them. So in her world, all that existed was the low fee and no fee crap, because she wasn't even looking in the right places. So part of what we teach, part of what we mentor is in your topic, in your niche, in your vertical market, where are you going to have a much higher likelihood of finding premium clients that are happy and expecting to pay premium fees? If you look low, you find low. If you look medium, you find medium. You look high, you find high.
Yeah, great question. Katie says, where will you go over the five big problems and 5 key results from your workbook you sent? It seems that I missed that in this webinar.
You know what? I changed the slides. So I cut that part out. It just wasn't adding a lot. So we'll have to leave a little bit of intrigue on that one. If I can dig those slides up, I'll email them to you if you're really dying of curiosity. But so don't worry about that. It just didn't make the cut. There was much more valuable stuff I wanted to put in its place. And so that's why that stuff was in here, and that's why that stuff was included.
Joe asked, did I just miss this, or do we add expenses or not? What about expenses, food, lodging, travel, or did you just say it's just part of the fee?
Always on top. So the fee is the fee, and then travel and expenses on top of that. Now, that's a negotiating tactic. That's a great question. If you're really close on the money, and let's say your fee is $5,500, and they know that whenever you quote a fee, the normal expected thing is $5,500 plus expenses. You say, well, Susan, it seems that we're really close. rather than waste your time, rather than waste my time, why don't we lock this in right now so that you're no longer worried about who your keynote speaker is going to be? If you're willing to give me a verbal yes right now, and I will send over the agreement and the invoice as soon as we hang up, I can do it for $5,500 all in. $5,500. I eat the airfare. I take care of getting there. I take care of the meals. You never see another invoice from me. It's $5,500. Boom, easy, done. Are you in? And that's how you ask it. $5,500. Boom, easy, done. Are you in? And she goes, oh man, that would be great. And then sale closed. Because again, why am I negotiating that? Her decision has economic value for me. If I get a yes today, I don't want this to drag on. Oh, we'll get back to you. Oh, there's a committee meeting. Oh, there's another committee meeting. Oh, there's a meeting about the meeting. There's a meeting after the meeting about the meeting. Come on, give me a yes. Let me send you an invoice. Let's lock this up right now. $5,500. All in, boom, easy, done. Are you in? That's how to close the deal. That's a negotiating chip. I will eat the expenses for a quick yes right here, right now.
Good.
Does that make sense,
Dominique,
everybody?
I think it does.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. I think they all said yes unanimously right there. Dominique says, ask this question: how effective is it to answer the call for speaker application? Or is it better to just contact directly and ask for the speaker coordinator?
Oh, what a fantastic question. So listen, you guys, I hate to tell you this, but you're already in the mentoring program. You're already in. Rick, they're already in the program. So too bad for you. We'll just kind of call you and, talk about the credit card info. What a great question. Call for speaker web forms are where good speakers go to die. Let me repeat that. Those call for proposal forms are where good speakers go to die. Here's what I mean by that. When you go to these conferences and you see these big name speakers, big name celebrities, big name professional speakers, big name, TV personalities, whatever, believe me, they didn't fill out the goofy little form. So what you need to know is that the breakout speakers and the industry speakers and the concurrent speakers, that's what the form is for. Your very best bet, and this is a whole strategy that we go into in the mentoring program, but I'll give it to you now. I would find every possible call for speaker form that you can. You can Google it. You can set a Google alert every time a new one's posted. And I would do exactly, who is the person that asked this question?
It was Dominique.
Dominique. Fantastic. I would do exactly what Dominique is suggesting, which is you find the form and you pick up the phone. Because when here's one case where you do want to pick up the phone and you say, I found your call for speakers form, did a little bit of research on your conference, on your event. I'm curious. Is that the same form through which you hire your paid professional speakers? Now, 2 or 3 moving parts in that sentence. Is that the same form, right? Same versus different, through which you hire, ka-ching, 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 the word hire, your paid, ka-ching, ka-ching, paid, professional, ka-ching, ka-ching, professional speakers. So now we've given 3 signals by asking that one question that I'm here for the money. I'm not here for the fun. I'm not here for the love. I'm here for the money. Because often, and here's the finishing touch to your question, often conferences and associations like yours have one process to hire the paid professional speakers and simply use this web form for the industry speakers, the concurrent speakers, and the breakouts. Is there a different process I should be aware of? And now you're talking turkey. Now you're in the door. You're talking to the executive director, the programs chair, the education chair, and you're having a voice-to-voice, real-life conversation. Not about pitching, not about pushing, not about selling. You're simply asking, hey, what do you need to see from me to be considered for one of your paid keynote slots? It's a very simple, very easy conversation. I've had speakers come through our mentoring program, and Rick knows this, and Teresa knows this, and we all know this. They have spent years, they've wasted years on those call for speaker, call for proposal, speaker submission forms, and they've never gotten a booking. B, when they have gotten a booking, it's been a big goose egg, a big zero. Not a single dollar has come from these speaker submission forms, but yet, fabulous people like Dominique keep saying, should I keep using those forms? And again, you're so smart, you're so on top of it. The answer is no. And you answered your own question. I'm not sure I took 5 minutes to answer your question that you answered 2 minutes ago. The answer is pick up the phone and ask about that alternate track. It's like the Matrix, right? In the Matrix, say, hey, blue pill, red pill. Blue pill, yeah, you keep filling out those little speaker submission forms. Good luck with that. Or red pill, wake up, understand how the premium fee marketplace works for real deal premium fee speakers, and start connecting with the right buyers in the right ways for the right fees for the right programs. And again, you saw the results that our clients are getting. $55, $65, $7,500 programs. Never been paid to speak. 0 to hero, 0 to 60 miles an hour in weeks. It does not take months. It does not take years. It could be as soon as weeks if you do the work. And if, again, look at the criteria for these calls that we're doing. If you're coachable, if you're serious, if you're decisive, if you're committed, because we can talk about solving this problem, or we can really help you solve this problem. And if you really want to help solve this problem, then you want to stop chasing that low fee, no fee nonsense.
Yeah, it was focus that woke us, wasn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Bob, I love that.
Bob says, ask this question. Do you recommend having a specific presentation already developed or a list of presentation ideas?
So does that mean already developed to take our program or just in general?
I'm going to guess it must be from the speaker side. In other words, are we selling our program on the 5 steps to making your life great? I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah.
Bob, if you want to throw a follow-up on there, you're still on the line there. I can read it, but I don't know exactly how to interpret that other than what was just said there, David.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
So let me riff on that until and unless we get some clarification.
Okay.
The first answer is easy. No, you don't have that. You don't have to have that dialed in to book a call and to possibly join our program if we decide that's a good fit.
Nope. He just said selling the speaking gig itself. So in other words, he wants to know, does he have it in hand? And here's my thing, and come buy it.
So here's the deal. The difference here, and that's a great question. That's a bigger, more important question. It's the difference between painter and printer. And I don't want anyone to be a painter, meaning the phone rings, painter takes out a fresh canvas, takes out the paints, takes out the palettes, makes a beautiful painting, never to be repeated, never to be seen again, hands it over to the client and says, hi, here you go, give me $5,500. I want you to be a printer. A printer is like the way we print the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Investors Business Daily. There's a layout, there's a masthead, there's a cover story, there's a big photo on the left or a big photo on the right, there's some headline fonts, some headline type. We hit the button and it's print, 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 print. Tomorrow, different edition of the Wall Street Journal, same template, same header, same masthead, picture on the left or picture on the right or picture in the middle, couple of different headlines. So we are in the printing business. We are not in the painting business. So yes, you have to have a couple of presentations or a couple of presentation ideas ready. You do not want to be in again, I was in the painting business for the first 3 years. I was like, anytime, any speech, any topic, any program, time management. Yeah, I'll buy some books on Amazon. I'll be your time management guru. Oh, leadership. Yeah, let me grab some leadership books out of the library. I'll figure out leadership. Presentation skills. Sure, I've been presenting for a while. Let me pull out some old crap and, let's do some. I mean, man, that was a hard way to make a living. So again, expertise and well-defined expertise always beats that generalist, anytime, anywhere, any topic, don't know what you need, but I've got it. It's like you want to buy a watch, right? You open up the raincoat. Hey, you want to buy a watch? You open up the other side of the raincoat. Hey, you want a candy bar? It's like, oh my God, well, what's this guy really good at? Nothing. So now you're blowing in the wind. You're a blowing in the wind generalist, and you're not a laser-focused expert. So yes, you have to have some presentations ready to go. No, you don't have to have those totally locked in and totally dialed in for us to help you or to help you talk through it. But at some point, yes, you want to be in that printing business, not in the painting business.
Dave is asking, how do you convince the client that you're the expert and worth the money?
Well, I think part of it is having the sales discussion the way we outlined it here. I mean, I gave you the template, I gave you the exact scripting, because here's the deal. They will always judge you more on the questions that you ask than on the statements that you make. So you're not there to tell them you're an expert. I'm an expert. I've got blah, 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 blah. Look at my website. Look at my videos. Look at my PDF. Look at me, my. I. That's the kind of person they hang up on. It's the person that asks the penetrating questions about them and their goal and their meeting and their company and their team and their outcomes and what they'd like to see different after this program that they're not seeing now. What would that mean? What impact would they have? Can you put a number on it? Can you put a number on it? Can you put a number on it? Right? I gave you the exact sales conversation. When you have that sales conversation, they understand in their bones that they're talking to an expert. When they're talking to a pitch person or a sleazy scumbag salesperson, they hang up the phone. When the conversation is about them and their problems and their needs and their wants and their outcomes, they will stay on the phone with you forever. Just like there's 70 people. We finished the content, Rick, about 35, 40 minutes ago. There's still 70 fabulous people on the line right here, right now. Hopefully because they're seeing the relevance. Hopefully because they're seeing the value. This is not a sales conversation, but it's a value conversation. I want you guys to have a similar value conversation with your prospects. Because for me and Rick, this was fun. This was fun. This was easy. This is how we invite people to see how we can help them. And some of you guys we might invite in, and many of you we won't. But that time we spend on the phone, we are 100% focused on you and on your business and on helping you.
Absolutely.
So last couple of minutes here. I know, Rick, you probably have to run to a call. It's doitmarketing.com/apply. I think Friday might be just about full. We may be into Monday at this point. I'm not 100% on that. I know, Rick, your calendar looks like it's filling up. Teresa might have some calls on Monday. I know my calendar's starting to fill up for tomorrow, so I'll be talking to some people. Any last thoughts, any parting final questions before we wrap it up?
Well, the kind of, a lot of these are still fairly developed questions. There's a lot there. How should it be presented to the client and the prospect? Is there a proposal form? A lot of these questions are answered in our discussions when they begin signing up for our calls, aren't they?
Yes. I mean, we will talk about, what you have going on, what's working, what's not working, and how to fix it. But I'll tell you right away that all this logistical stuff about what's the contract look like, what's the agreement, what do I send, that's not your problem. Guys, trust me, that is not your problem. That's not the missing link. Like if we gave you the proposal, and we have proposal templates and contracts and agreements, all kinds of crazy stuff in our program. If we gave that to you today and gave you nothing else, your business would not move an inch. Your business would not move an inch. And the whole point that I hope people are getting off this webinar is that you need to have everything else in place and everything else working right in your speaking-driven business to support this kind of fee and to support this kind of sales conversation. If everything else is missing, funky, broken, and sad, having the right contract or the right proposal is not going to help you. So we got to fix this way before you're sending any kind of proposal or email or craziness out the door. Strategy before tactics, guys. Strategy before tactics. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in this kind of tacticitis, spinning your wheels, crazy cloud of confusion. So we get the strategy right, the tactics take care of themselves. And we've got tactics in droves. Rick has tactics. I have tactics. Teresa has tactics. Our mentoring program has tactics galore. That's not your problem. That's not your missing piece. It's the strategic thinking around your business model, service model, revenue model, and fee setting that we need to fix first. And we do that when you book a call at doitmarketing.com/apply. All right, my friend Rick. Well, it's great to co-host with you as always. We will talk soon. So we've got some great people to talk with right now. Thank you guys for being on with us. Thank you guys for staying through the end. expect an email with your goodies. You've got the long endurance goodies, the stick to the end goodies coming your way by email. If the tech gods are smiling, there should be a replay up here in the next hour or so. I will send you that out in an email, and all kinds of good stuff coming. So keep an eye on your inbox. Rick, thank you, and we'll talk soon.
Goodbye, everybody.